And now on to your TM. We have a recording of a chat we had with Dónal Gunning, an Irishman living in Wellington making some music.
You're hooked up to the Matrix. You're hooked up to the Matrix. You got the WhatsApp on the...
Yeah, I'm looking at things here now and it seems like we're making some noise. So once you can hear me, I can hear you. So
Perfect. Yeah, no, I've just got you on loudspeaker here. I'm at home at the office, so all clear on my end. Whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
I'm from Tuam, outside Galway.
Oh, brilliant. And a friend of mine, he worked there for years.
Oh, okay.
At Vallejo, is that what they're called?
Oh, Vallejo,
you know
Tuam.
that?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
He was
working there.
Yeah, finances, everything there. No, he's a mate of mine, he worked there. As they say, Tuam, the quickest town in Ireland.
Exactly, yeah. And whereabouts are you?
I'm based here in Wellington, but I'm from primarily Dublin, family from out west and kind of all over, but been in Dublin most of my life. But now, happy settled in New Zealand. Here, this is my third year now,
right?
Which is feckin' mental. Here about 2.5 years. Got the residency before Christmas, so I was feckin' delighted. I'm just kind of keep myself busy with all things music and doing a bit of surfing and chipping away at a bit of work, just enjoying my best life. Love it.
Good. And what made you come out here?
New Zealand was a combination of a few things. I wanted a big change from home, a big move. So I don't think geographically I could have gotten further away.
No.
But I wanted somewhere that I could surf, somewhere that I could play music, somewhere that had like a good work-life balance or culture around that, and somewhere that I guess was a good size that in the space of whether I'm here for a few years or more, that was, I guess, it would only take a while to kind of get to know the lay of the land, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Versus London or New York or somewhere like that. But love Wellington. It first came here with two mates from school, and then kind of went all around Auckland, Rotorua, all the places, and then just felt at home in Wellington.
Okay.
What about yourself? How did you end up are you in Nelson?
Yeah.
I've been to Nelson once. Just passing through. I was doing a wee tour of the South Island. It was a good crack.
Yeah, it's a town, really. I mean,
yeah,
they like to call it a city, but I'm convinced it's a town. When you go to an actual city, you realise that it's a town. But it's not something I'd be shouting about, because they're quite proud of their city status that they've bestowed upon themselves. So we'll leave it at that.
But they have an airport, so that's all you need.
It's like a bus station with airplanes. Yeah,
it's like Shannon or something like that. It's kind of a middle ground.
Yeah, it's kind of it's even a freer, more relaxed knock. It's a great place to fly from, because it's literally walk in, jump in the plane. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Is there much of a music scene there?
I think there was. There's a fella, when we started doing this show about 2 years ago, and I started doing it with a pal of mine. He had done it before, but he plays a bit of music now, and he was in bands here back 20 odd years ago, and there was an Irish bar, and they had a band going called The Immigrants. There was a few Irish lads. I think there was an English lad. There was a bit of a scene.
Nice.
There was a bit going on, but I think the Irish bar closed since. Has probably gone 10 years, if not more. And there's still a bit of music going on. There's still gigs, but I'm not sure. Yeah. It's still like, it's a funny town. Like, it's good for the tourists. Yeah. It's good during the summer, but it's very quiet off season. Like, very quiet. Every place is closed. Like,
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Me and the lads are looking to do a tour of New Zealand towards the end of this year, and I was kind of just getting the map out. And I know a lad who's in a band in Nelson, but I'm just trying to scratch my head. Where would they be playing? I know is there a place there called Red 16?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, I think they do a bit of live music or something of that.
They've an open mind and a few things, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another, because I know there's an Irish. I know there's a pub in Picton, Seamus's bar,
right,
or Seamus. It's a commune or something. Yeah, I was going to give them a shout. And then I also found there was someone else in Blenheim, and there was, all these places. If we were looking, because I was eyeing them up as a potential Thursday night spot before we maybe head down to Christchurch and Dunedin. Yeah. So it was just all part of the fun, really, discovering New Zealand.
Good way to do it. Good way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So no, there seems like there's always this. Not like obviously we don't get the gigs here, like the stuff that'll be on will be. I think there's actually a festival on at the moment, Ceola Nice. It's kind of an Irish music festival, as far as I know. I thought I saw something on one of the social media platforms on that. I'd have to double check, but there's things going on like there were like that. There isn't. For that, for indie or for rock or for stuff like that, you don't see the bigger gigs. You'd be right. You'd be looking at pubs and you'd be looking at clubs, like but
need to start somewhere though. Especially we're quite a I'm relatively newish to the scene, with plenty of hunger to keep it going. So I've actually found from the touring I've done on the North Island that sometimes the likes of Hastings, Masterton, these smaller regional towns, you might even pull out a bigger audience because
true enough.
You're more of a novelty rolling into town on a Friday, Saturday night, versus what they might normally have on. So you might draw more people out, or you might give them some variety.
There's definitely a bit of interest, and has been for decades, like in the bit of rock and the bit of live bands. There's kind of this. I get that from the Kiwis. They'll go and watch a band, they'll follow their music. They'll go and see small bands.
Yeah, they're quite passionate. They are passionate. They do. They have this great synergy with Irish people that I think they respect, and they nearly have kind of a support towards the arts as well. You tell someone you're a musician, and they're happy to give you contacts or point you in the right direction, which I think says a lot about the Kiwis as well as their music culture. But it's an interesting old scene up here in Wellington. Lots going on. Something I didn't anticipate before moving to New Zealand was the metal scene, particularly up in Auckland. It's rampant. It's fucking mad. I had never got much exposure to it at home, but it's like all these hardcore bands pulling up to the likes of Valhalla or Underworld and playing a show there. Like it's pretty, pretty mental.
Well, I suppose you're in one of the hotter spots for all sorts arts, aren't you? Really, and being in Wellington with the kind of city.
Yeah. The focal point of the country, really. It's good. It's good. You get a lot of different bands in. We've kind of got, even in our little project, at the moment, we've got, our drummer is big into his psych rock. And he's in a kind of a garden indie rock band that are upcoming in Wellington. One of our guitarists is a massive kind of Dimebag Darrell Pantera fan. He plays in another metal band. And then our other guitarist he has got an indie folk punk band, plays the mandolin but plays guitar with us. So everyone is, there's something here for everyone.
And you're kind of you're like a collective. You're doing your own thing, and then you're playing a bit of music together as a group, or is it a band?
Collective is a good way to put it. I mean, it's ultimately it is Dónal Gunning, and then when we perform, it's Dónal Gunning and the Books. Now we've had some rotating members recently because people are busy, but we've kind of got 4, 5, 6 maybe musicians who are keen to either tour or gig or kind of contribute when it comes to writing. Right. But under, it's kind of streamlined under Dónal Gunning when it comes to social media and it comes to the Spotify and everything. I put out an indie folk indie EP in 2023 May, and it was called. Yeah, called Born to Perform, which was kind of just me as a singer-songwriter after moving to New Zealand. A lot of the song, it was a 3-track, simpler songs, but was where I was at a writer at the time. Was playing a lot of gigs solo around New Zealand. I hadn't really met the band yet, and then from meeting the band, kind of that helped elevate and expand my writing, incorporating drums, bass, guitars, and some of the songs I brought over from Ireland, and some of them I had written while I was here.
And would you have
that came out?
Would you have been playing?
Sorry, after you, Kieran.
Or would you have always been in bands, or where did you kind of start, or what was the origin story?
I was forced to, thanks to my wonderful parents. My dad's a comic man as well. My dad's from Mayo.
Mayo?
The Ballina.
Ah, right, okay.
Mm-hmm. The lovely salmon capital of Ireland.
Very good. Yes, Jack Charlton. Love the spot.
Yeah. So they forced us to learn piano. I have 3 siblings. My brother's a pretty keen muser as well. So we were forced to learn piano, and it was up until about junior cert. I kind of said, "Fuck this! I want to play guitar." Played a bit of guitar, and then transition year came around. I was really into Green Day and Blink-182, so I loved Travis Barker and drumming. So I got into drumming, and then I think I was playing bass in a band. They needed one, and I was like, "Oh, grand!" And then, so yeah, played on off in bands throughout my teenage years, and then kind of later on into my 20s, started playing in bands a bit more seriously. I played in a 2-piece, 2-guitar band when I was living in Portugal called the Siamese Beats, which was fun. And then I was playing in an indie punk band with bass and singing called the Macarons. And then when I moved to NZ, I kind of said to myself that I, start getting my stuff out there a bit more under my own name.
Yeah.
So it's been great. So Year One came out on the 20th of March. We've got next single is out 10th of May, which is called Losing Weight, which that's the second single off the upcoming EP. The EP would be released in winter, New Zealand time, summer, Irish time.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll be doing a tour off the back of that as well. So we've got lots going on.
Yeah.
Chuffed.
The plan's afoot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's growing legs. It's great watching where we are now. Looking where we are now versus a year or 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, when I met the lads, we were just doing covers just around town and hadn't really gotten any originals together. Then we had kind of a change in members, and then we kind of honing in more on original songs, and we were doing the Battle of the Bands here in Wellington, and we were playing some house parties, and now we're kind of, I think a lot of artists talk about polishing and refining their product. I think we're getting into a stage that now we're being a bit more tactical with our gigs. We're kind of being more effective, efficient when we're in the studio, and it's great. It's exciting. It's kind of like a job. It's the best fucking job I've had in a while. So it's good.
Good to hear it.
Yeah. Do you play in bands as well yourself, Kieran?
No. I kind of fell into this gig. Dave has since departed. He's taken a back seat. So about a year ago. So I kind of just said, why not keep doing it? It's great. I go in there every week and lock myself into a box and prick around with the bits and pieces in there and shite hawking with Adobe Audition and playing a bit of music and making up some lies. So it's great. I like it. It's good fun. It's good fun. Yeah.
How did you end up in Nelson, do you want me asking?
Well, I was in Christchurch first back in nearly 12 years ago and stayed there for a few years, went home then for a couple of years and then came back out, and the friend of mine who we had initially gone out together back in 2013, he'd moved up here. So we came back up here and been here since 2018 now. And it's like any place. It's grand, Nelson's good. It's good.
Yeah. Have you spent much time up in Wellington? Or?
Yeah, we'd be up now and again. That's what I was meaning to ask you. I don't know if you were listening to the show last week, but am I right in saying I was standing beside you at a kneecap gig? Did you have a black balaclava?
Yeah. I did have a black balaclava on for a while.
Well, I was feckin' standing beside you because I looked over and I thought, Jesus, that's a full tilt balaclava. I was impressed. I felt like I was back in the...
That is gas.
Yeah, I was... Myself and Anya, my wife, and a friend of mine, James, were just right at the back on the step. And I turned around and I said, that's what you would have seen back in the 70s at a proper IRA funeral.
Yeah, I figured. A friend of mine. That is feckin' hilarious, Kieran.
I just when I saw the picture, the picture came up when I got the email from Fresh. I was looking at the music, obviously, and I looked on whatchamacallit, Instagram, and I said, "Fuck me, that is him. I'm sure that's him."
Oh my god! Yeah, that was me. I mean, what occasion would you have to be completely okay to wear a balaclava to?
A black one.
Not many, except a kneecap gig.
I had my mayo in my pocket, and I should have pulled it out. I didn't. I hesitated too long, and the moment
that is gas. I can't. That is just. Oh, that's the epitome of a small world. A flat. So I used to live with the drummer in our band, Mason. I used to live with him in a flat in town above a pub called the Rogan Vagabond in Wellington. Yeah. We were gigging lots at the time, and I had a Kiwi flatmate there, and he got me that balaclava as a Christmas present because he thought it would be. Yeah, funny for whatever reason, and I was always looking for an opportunity to wear it. So, that's brilliant. Did you enjoy the show?
Brilliant, yeah, I really did. Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
so you flew up for that, or did you get the inter-islander? Or?
No, I flew up, and there was a few came up from Nelson. There was a gang of us went to it, and it was a good evening. Now I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah, good, and kind of an unusual venue. It was an old church, I think, or something. Someone was telling me
there used to be a Salvation Army, and prior to that, I think it might have been a church. It's kind of got an amphitheater, half amphitheater meets. I actually don't know. You don't expect to be. I think it's when you go in to be so invaded within the stage. You'd expect maybe more riffraff, but you kind of get in and there you go. Boom, you're straight into it. The bar's kind of tricky as well. I was off the pints at the time. I wasn't long home from a holiday, so I was keeping the head down. Yeah. Despite the fact I was wearing a very intimidating balaclava, I was sober as a judge.
It was classic. I couldn't believe it turned out of it. I'm impressed with that balaclava. That's good.
That's brilliant. Have you been following any other Irish bands who've come to town recently? I think there was some other big names. I think Lisa O'Neill and the Murder Capital. And
I got up to myself and another friend of mine, James, who was at the Kneecap as well. We got up to Fontaine's the week after.
Oh yeah, up in Auckland. Yeah, that was not too bad.
That was impressive. They were very impressive.
Yeah, they're kind of flying it now. Yeah. Jesus, they're kind of really. Yeah, they deserve it though. Their material's good, and they've got
It was just they've got it. They've got it. So they were just really, really impressive. Like they didn't. There was no shite talking, no old yapping, just straight into it, like and horsing through hits, like strong set. It was a super gig, and there was a lot of not like it wasn't a full Irish crowd. Like it was the Spark Arena, so it was. You had every demographic there, like it was very impressive. The lights were impressive, just the way they kind of conducted themselves. The whole thing was, we're here now to play our songs. We've got a fucking strong catalogue here. We're going to horse into it, and we'll rely on that. And it carried it. Like you kind of got the feeling like if there was another 20,000 people here, they'd feed it. Like they were well able for it. Like
yeah. So good for them. Yeah, I guess it's the stadium tour next for them, or they're kind of already breaching into that.
Yeah, I think so.
Good for them. They've been at it since 20. They were in uni together or college from 2013, so they're at it over 10 years. And they just kept at it. Yeah. I think they put out the first album in 2019, and they've just been going since then.
I'd like to have seen there was a good few people up there with Idols t-shirts. I'd like to have got up to them now. I'd be a fan of the Idols.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen them live. I love their stuff though. Yeah. More so their backlog. I went for a run yesterday. I was listening to their song "Mother."
Oh yeah,
which is a great tune. Yeah. Great bit of distorted bass on it, and they've got that, and the Beach Room Ballroom is a great tune. They have a heap of stuff. Post punk is a great old genre. Oh, yeah. I'm listening a lot to a band from England called Wonder Horse. They've actually toured with Fontaine's a couple of times.
Supposed to support them,
but now they're coming. And I'd highly recommend you'd come up for a Kieran. It's at Meow. It's September 18th, 19th. They've re-announced it. Okay. So they're coming up to do their own show now. They've just released.
Weren't they with Fontaine's?
They were supposed to do it, but they brought Shame and said, I don't know who Shame are, but Wonder Horse are one of my favourite bands. The first album. If you can give it a hoon, as the Kiwis say, it's just good guitar music, clever lyricism, soft songs, hard songs, but the guitar tones are very clever, and the bassist is their backing vocalist, and there's just a terrific blend in their two voices. The second album is a bit more heavy, but I've never seen them live.
Right.
And they're coming to New Zealand. They're going to Meow, which is a perfectly accessible gig. So I'm buzzing for that now. The big gang was coming to that. So I won't be wearing my balaclava, but I might see it there.
Bring it with you just in case, though.
Yeah. maybe the black was a bit too much. Maybe I should have painted it green or something.
No, there was enough green. Honestly, it was perfect. It knocked me out when I saw it. Like, I was classic, absolute classic.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Oh, that is fantastic. Funny how you could recognize me from the crowd as well. Just obviously I took it off.
You had it off leaving, yeah. And I said, "Oh, right, that's okay. You know, that's the dude that was wearing that. Right, very good." I mean, I don't know. It just when I saw your picture on Instagram, I said, "I'm nearly sure that's him."
Oh my god! I must tell the lads that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I showed it to Anya and James. And they said, "Jesus, I think it is."
Oh my gosh. How do you find yourself heading up to Wellington for shows that often? Would you ever head down to what's the venue in Is it the Loons or Littleton in Christchurch? Is it worthwhile flying down? Because an artist would do Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, or one North Island, one South Island.
Possibly, yeah. Or even just Auckland sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So would you have to fly down to Christchurch or drive down there at all for gigs?
I haven't, to be honest. Anya has gone down and seen the Coors 2 years ago. Honestly can't remember where it was on, but there's some they might have a few comedians down there, but I'm not exactly sure the venue's down there, to be honest, because when I lived down there now, it was just post earthquake and the place was in an awful state altogether. But I believe that they've done obviously a lot of redevelopment and building, and the whole social scene is a million miles different than it was 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? They have a lot of venues now, a lot of kind of areas that are your going out spots, like with the bars and the restaurants and things like that. So I haven't been down there, to be honest, in a good while in that capacity. But I mean, it depends. Like, you know yourself, it depends what comes up. You're probably lucky in Wellington in one sense. You've a good shot at getting gigs down there. You've got a lot of venues. If not, you go to Auckland, I suppose, like the rest of us. But we're kind of you're always traveling here, you know.
Yeah, you kind of get a few. You get the TSB Arena. I saw Queens of Stone Age there. That was unreal. It was fantastic. That's one of the best shows I've ever been to. And then the Foo Fighters came to Sky Stadium. That was brilliant.
Yes. So
then we were spoiled with that. And then we've got Meow. And then we've Meow Nui, San Fran, Valhalla, fucking Moon.
Right.
The Opera House. There's a venue at the bottom of Cuba Street, the Roger Michael Fowles Centre. And then you've got Cuba Dupa, Newtown Fest, fucking Homegrown. Lots going on here. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's one of the drawbacks in Nelson a small bit. You don't get those gigs, but like, you know yourself, you go up to the bus station and jump on a plane here. It's not too bad. You know what I mean? It's that's the way the country is. You just have to travel if these things are on. You know.
Yeah. No different from, I don't know, being in Galway, heading up to Dublin.
Exactly.
2 hours, doing a bit hour. Yeah, it's probably the fucking same. So it's not too bad.
No, that's that's the crack. Yeah. I'll have to get this out, and I'll stick another song at the end or the start of it. Get a few of those tracks on from your.
Yeah. Do you need me to send? So I would have sent the.
Your one.
The single, Your One. Yeah. Do you need me to send WAV files of the other songs, or do you have access to them?
I don't mind. We usually play this. Like, if someone sends something, fair enough. But we're generally playing it off Spotify. So I mean,
deadly. So it's easy as okay.
We just it goes through the desk there. It'll be. It's sound. I mean, if you send it, that's fine. You know, there's no problem. I'll play it through that. But ordinarily, it's just through the usual old ways and means, you know.
Grand. I've got another. I must send you the next single and the EP when it comes out.
Do indeed.
Yeah.
If you're passing through, I mean, you're more than welcome to the gangy, or you're on your own, or whoever's with you. If you're coming this way at all, let me know. And there's plenty of room in the studio. You could bring in the guitars.
Oh,
do you know we could?
That could be the play.
Would you know? We
could do a bit of a live thing.
Yeah, we'd be able to. There'd be no problem accommodating a few instruments in there, a few mics, and we could have an old chat and a bit of crack, play a few Irish tunes, and do something like that. If you're passing through, make sure you give us a shout.
We'll do 100%
like that. 100%. We can pop in there and at any time, day or night, you know. So there's no problem that way.
That's brilliant. So you guys are spread across. Did I see Golden Bay, Tasman?
There's a studio. Yeah, there's a studio out in small studio out in Golden Bay, and it's kind of across the top of the south.
Okay, fair
Just
enough. That's where
broadcasting, obviously, but the rest it's
the
on
broadcasting
stream.
range is there.
It's streamed.
One of my mates told me there was a venue in Golden Bay that he's played at before.
There is a small, because Dave, my pal has played there too, actually. Yeah, there is a small venue out there where they have gigs every now. There could be one a year. There could be something they have every year where there's something on out there. And it's well out, like.
Yeah, there's all these pockets around here that give you an opportunity to play or go. That can travel. You know,
That's what
I like about it. Yeah, you can spend your whole life. But that's every time I travel New Zealand, someone's like, you need to go here, you need to go there.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, dude, I only have a fucking week off.
I know.
Piss off.
I know. You spend 90% of it driving, like.
Yeah, which is part of it. I did 2 weeks in the South Island nearly 2 years ago. In fact, we did 4 days snowboarding in Queenstown. Unreal. Night in Christchurch. Didn't quite make it to Dunedin, but we did like Franz Joseph on the way down, Nelson, and kind of have a coffee, hit the road,
yes,
pitch up to your next spot, have a pint, check into your hostel, and then go explore. That was kind of it. It was brilliant though. I was with a good mate of mine. I must give you a shout when I'm down south again.
Geez, if you're passing through there, whether you're solo or you've got the boys with you or whatever you're at, pop in and we can go into the studio and do. We'll figure something out. You know, there's bit of shit talk, play a few tunes, whatever the story is.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to hit you up then, Kieran. But thanks a million for having me and accommodating my shit talk.
Not at all. Right, we've been chatting to Dónal. And Dónal will be flying around New Zealand, possibly playing in a pub or a club near you, so keep an eye out. And can I stick an Irish song on for you, Dónal? What would you like to hear?
I'd love to hear the Streets of New York by Ryan McMullen. That's a beautiful song.
Okay, I'll see, can I get that up here and we'll get it on. Good man, thanks for joining us.
Cheers, man. Good luck.
Right, sound. Thanks, Dónal.
See you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
I was 18 years old when I went down to Dublin with a fistful of money and a carload of dreams. Take your time, said my father, stop rushing like hell, and remember all's not what it seems to be. For there's fellas who'd cut you for the coat on your back, or the watch that you got from your mother. So take care, my young bucko, and mind yourself well. And would you give this sweet note to my brother? At the time, Uncle Benji was a policeman in Brooklyn, and my father, the youngest, looked after the farm. When a phone call from America said send the lad over, and my old fella said sure it wouldn't do any harm. For I've spent my life working this dirty old grind for a few pints of porter and the smell of a pine. And sure, maybe there's something you'll learn or you'll see if you can bring it back home, make it easy on me. So I landed at Kennedy, and a big yellow taxi carried me and my bags through the streets and the rain. Well, my poor heart was thumping around with excitement that I hardly even heard what the driver was saying. We pulled in the shore parkways to the flatlands of Brooklyn, to my uncle's apartment on East 53rd. I was feeling so happy, I was humming a song, and I sang her as free as a bird. But the short in the story, when I found out that day, was Benji got shot down in an uptown parade. Oh, so while I was flying my way to New York, poor old Benji was lying in a cold city morgue. Oh, I called up the old fella and I told him the news. I could tell he could hardly stand up in his shoes. And he wept as he told me, go ahead with the plan, and you're not to forget to be a bright Irish man. So I went down to Nellie's beside Fordham Road, and I started to learn about lifting the load. But the heaviest thing that I carried that year was the bittersweet thoughts of my hometown so dear. I went home that December 'cause the old fella died. Had to borrow some money, all fell on the side. Oh, and all the bright flowers and brass couldn't hide the poor wasted face of my father. We sold up the old barnyard for what it was worth, and into my bag stuck a handful of earth. And I boarded a train, and I caught me a plane, and I found myself back in the US again.
Belfast, this is your verse. It's been 22 years
correct knife and fork, but I'll never forget the green grass and the rivers as I keep law and order on the streets of...
This is Dónal Gunning, and you're listening to Fresh FM. Top of the morning to you, chatting here with Kieran. Thanks.
Do you want to mention your single?
Yeah, sure.
This is Dónal Gunning, and you're listening to my new single, Losing Weight, on Fresh FM. Enjoy.
I'm a superman, don't ask me where I've been, and I'm the pacifier, sucking on your chin, and I'm a rock star, but I can't get in the public enemy with the shit-eating grin. And I'm a doctor, I got my first degree in plastic surgery, I'm getting under your skin, and I'm a gambler, fishing for my sins 'cause I'm a jackman, the house always wins. I'm losing weight, killing time, I'm trying to make the show before 9:30, yeah, running through my head now, my head now, my head now. And you're the chauffeur, you're gonna give me the lift, and I'm the
Where'd you get your hairstyle?
Kevin?
Yeah?
Would you like to ask a question? That's not...
Where'd you get your shades?
Where'd you get me shades? Well, I got them off this chap called Bono. He was really cool in a band called U2, Kevin.
Where'd you get your hairstyle?